Good morning. Good morning, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok family. Thank you guys for joining me this morning for another episode of Back to the World. My brother and my sister's keeper. I'm Tony. Thank you guys for coming on board. Any music that you may hear in the background, we don't own the rights to. But if you have any comments, questions, anything that you care to share, anything you want to join in or what have you, just hit me in the boxes down below, and we'll try our best to make that possible. Throughout the day, man, I'm gonna have phone ringing. I'm gonna have cameras blinking off and on. Uh, you know what I mean? It's gonna be that uphill, that roller coaster ride. So let's prepare ourselves for that. Some days I feel wonderful, man, and it can affect me. But then there are other days I just got so much that I want to say in a message, and when it starts to act up, it just frustrates me, and then I just lose my center of thought. I'm just being honest with you. Uh, you know, I damn sure don't want to speak Alzheimer's or anything like that or dementia into existence. Uh, I don't know of it existing knowingly in my immediate family. I really don't. But I think what it is, and I'm gonna just expound on this a little bit. I'm going down a different lane and a different level. You know, when I was incarcerated, I spent a lot of time alone. I spent a lot of time inside my head. I spent a lot of time. Uh, I had to create a section, if you will, an environment, a place of calm space inside my head, and I had to do that in the midst of chaos. I had to do that in the midst of violence. I had to do that in the midst of misery. So when I was surrounded with misery, I didn't want to join misery, so I had to find a place of happiness. Um, it was bliss, if you will. Um, when everybody got violent and wanted violence, I had to think of a place of peace, you know? So I just had so much to say. And since I've been home, I haven't said everything that I've had in store, that I've had inside of me for the past actually 25, 30 years, and you had no one to tell it to that wanted to listen because everything was done in minutes and seconds. If you haven't expressed yourself in a few seconds conversing with someone one on one, excuse me, you've lost them as an audience. So I find myself getting a bit hyped when I'm trying to get it out. I'm trying to spit it all out, and I'm trying to be succinct. I'm trying to be on point. And in the process of doing that, lots of times you forget what you want to say. I pretty much remembered on the inside. You had to. I remember just about everything that was being said. But out here, and it hadn't changed that much, I'm finding, but you get a little more time. Folk attention span is short out here as well. And social media is even shorter than the federal prison system. But as I said, it was always a rush. And I found myself forgetting a lot of what I wanted to say. And like right now, man, there are moments, I'm lying down before falling asleep and I may be watching a program, watching sports or whatever. I think of so many things that I want to say. And I try to get out of the habit of writing it down. I try to get out of the habit of writing it down, but I still write things down. And, I'll write just footnotes. And then you're forgetting what, when you see the footnotes, you're like, okay, now what was I thinking about when I wrote this? What did I think that I wanted to say? So, just, maintaining information is cumbersome. And when you have a message that you want to get out, it becomes even more cumbersome. And that's where I'm at right now. So anyway, just moving forward, ladies and gentlemen. This is Throwback Thursday. Of course, we do our PSIs, man. You've seen the videos. You've seen the posts, man. Go out and purchase your Botana oil from us, man. Let me tell you, it truly, truly works. Okay? It truly, definitely works. I'm sure you've seen our before and after pictures and everything. Inbox me so I can tell you how to purchase your 100% raw Botana oil. Okay? I'm going to get back to that in a minute. And this is the crux of my conversation. If any of you listening and you're watching or whatever the situation may be, if I forget to close or do a closing period with Botana oil, remind me, okay? Let me see. Okay. Who do we have here? Brother Stanley Johnson, Brother Thomas Blackman. Hey, man. Peace, brothers. Thank you guys for coming on this morning. I want to get this thing started. First and foremost, man, I like to give all thanks and all praise due to Allah, and the Most High. Man, there's so much blessings that we've been given, believe it or not, as a people. But I think oftentimes we don't recognize it, we don't remember it. But what I'm going to talk about today, pretty much, that behind my head, that's the compensation plan for Sonetquity Book Club. Okay, that's our Sonetquity. Hold on a second. G, good morning. Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? Oh yeah, I'm in the middle of a podcast, man. I've been trying to call you. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I ain't. You got to call me when you don't get me on this shit. You got to call on that other number.
What? I didn't know that, but me and Frank have been trying to call you, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but everything. I mean, ain't nothing wrong, but shit, ain't nothing right either. So I was just trying to reach out to you, right? Once I finish the podcast, man, I'm gonna give you a call. Oh, so you're there already? Okay, well, look, I'm not going to call you. I'm going to wait for you to call me back within 45 minutes.
Okay, for sure.
All right, brother. All right, thank you.
My mom been in the hospital. That's why I've been out on my time.
Hey, I told Frankie that, man. I said, man, hey, listen, I was praying for you. I was praying for you all, man. I was praying because I said that wasn't like you. You would have hit me back. Fill me in, man, when you call me back. All right. Bless you, bro. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. That's real time there. Yeah, but anyway, God, see, that's what I'm saying when things happen. I'm not going to answer the next call. It's got to be very important in order for me to do so, but I've been waiting on that call. What I want to talk about today, I want to talk about what's being talked about all day, man. The state of the black economy, the state of the black culture. All right, these are things that we want to talk about, right? And let me start with this. I saw a post yesterday with Donald Trump speaking, and it wasn't AI. After a while, man, you recognize what's AI and what's not. If you look at the mouth, man, it's out of sync to a degree, right? But this was an actual footage of Donald Trump speaking. And what he was talking about, he was saying that that it's you. Hey, black folk have built. You black people have built America. It's becoming to be known that you are the ones that built America. Now he would know that more than anyone because his father was a slumlord, right? His father had a lot of labor, and Donald Trump, he's aware of who does most of the work. But what his question was that if you people can build a country, how come you can't build your own community? Now, what I've learned sometimes, man, even when people are right and they're speaking something that's correct, I get pissed off about it, man. And I'm talking about, even though the conversation is right, I don't like the fact that they're the ones that's bringing it up. You know what I mean? And they feel like they're schooling our people. And when Donald Trump says, how come you people can build an entire country, but you can't build your own community up, right? So I don't know what just happened here, but my camera went out again. Okay, we're going to try. Alexa, music off. Lord have mercy. This is just one fiasco after the next, but we're going to save this reel here. So at any rate, I just don't like it when other people talk about, how come we aren't successful as a people, or how we, there we go. I think I got it, gang. This is just ridiculous here, man. I apologize. I got so much I want to say. Come on, camera. Okay. Well, that's the $1 million question. Donald Trump asked, how come we can't build our own communities? And, you built this country, but you can't build a community. So I turned to the comments, and I looked in the comment section. And when I read the comment section, man, out of about 1,000 responses, almost 900 of them, really, almost 900 was on a negative sense. Yeah, we built empires and we built this country, but we can never come together. We can never come together and build our communities because, it was either we were ignorant, it was either we just were selfish, it was either something negative, the whole 9 yards. And see, this is what's different. This is what's different with me. Out of 1,000 people, 900 was looking for a way to fail. And only about 100 was looking at how we can do this. And, that's a lot of negative energy to hold back. We don't need all those people to succeed. All the ones who believe, we just need to believe. And we need to do. We need to act. Just sitting back thinking about it the whole bit. Many people out there are like sleepers. They're waiting for something or instructions on what to do, what needs to be done. And I listen to our leaders and everything, and all of them say the same thing. And I say this every day. They all say, let's come together. But they don't tell you to come together on what? I have a very good friend, and they're talking about our economy and saving us as a people, and all these things that are being destroyed by this president. with the DEI. They're taking everything down off of the Pentagon website, man. Everything that meant anything, taken down. Where they fired colonels and what have you in the military. It's almost like they're whitewashing history, and they're removing any and everything that's black. Even a simple web page, if you have blacks working together, and it's diverse. You'll have a black, a Hispanic, and a white. You have males and females working. You have Asians there. But they're taking all that kind of shit down, right? But I don't want to get lost, and I don't want to go down too far down this rabbit hole talking about that. But, we are quick to talk about Black Wall Street. We're quick to talk about it and why it was a success, right? And when I listened to my friend's podcast the other day, an interview, and they were on, he and brother Roland Martin. Well, the first thing they talked about, they talk about the black middle class, right? And they're saying that the powers that be are trying to destroy and get rid of the middle class, which is not a lie. That is true, right? And I think that a lot of focus is being placed on the middle class, which focus should be there. But I think that we are ignoring a specific class, and that is the lower class. See, you're focusing totally on just the middle class. The middle class has enough pressure put on them as is, right? Most of the wealthy of the upper class, they rely on the middle class, right? So the middle class has to support them, and the middle class has to support all the people that are less than them, and they have to prevent themselves from sliding down that slippery slope and they becoming the lower class. So they have to watch out for that. You understand? So now what I heard my friend say, he says that they came up with a plan, and they needed to know what that plan looked like when everybody's saying we need to come together. And what do we do? Well, we boycott Target, and then we say we spend our money with blacks, with black businesses. All right? And then we say we bring the black business and the consumers together. Right? So now let me show you something. With the black consumers spending with the black businesses, how is that helping everyone? I want to know how that's helping everyone, because really it isn't. It's just like when the sister with radio with TV One, and I can't think of a name right now, but you know who I'm talking about. And she says that she comes to, she's going to do 2 weeks of businesses. She's going to pick 2 businesses out of a community, and you're to shop with these businesses, right? And that's in the community. Let me show you the mathematics. See, because economically, pulling a people out of strife. See, I'm excited right now, and I'm kind of jumping around, but listen to me, please. See, when it comes to lifting a people out of dread and out of poverty, there's a lot that goes into it when it comes to an economy that you're trying to build. First of all, it has a whole lot more to do other than just, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. It has so much more to do than just mathematics, because there's a lot of science, there's a lot of sociology, and there's a lot of psychology. Okay? So let's deal with the math part first. If it ain't making dollars, it ain't making sense. right? So we know that dollars must be generated, right? And we know it takes a certain amount to sustain and the whole bit. So that's the mathematical part, all right? The sociology, okay, the sociology is that there's a group of people that must sustain what it is that you're trying to do, right? And they must come together collectively, socially, in order to make this thing happen, right? Psychologically, they must be not so much the sociological part, but psychological. They must know why they're doing this and what's going to be on the back end, right? And how the funds are going to trickle in. And not that you're going to trick their minds, but they have to feel a certain kind of way. They have to feel good about what they're doing. They have to feel good about themselves. And they have to know what it is that they're trying to achieve in society, right? So that's the psychological aspect. Their mind has to get right, okay? Now the physics of it all is that you have to start in a certain place to get the wheels turning. And once the wheels are turning and the system is built and is structured, it will sustain all levels of the people as it flows. That may not make sense to you, but let me try and explain, right? See, with Black Wall Street, what made Black Wall Street a success? There were two things. And see, this becomes the physics of it all. And the psychology and the whole bit. And then the sociology comes into play. First of all, these people that were from Oklahoma, the blacks that worked there, the blacks that lived there, all they did was work. They pretty much worked. And just like right now, if they were told from the very beginning, let's start businesses and build our community and build our economy, the whole bit, they probably wouldn't have done it, because if the whites had let them shop at their stores, the whole bit, they would have been happy. They would have been satisfied. But keep in mind, it was a force that was bigger than them. The whites in that community did not want them to be a part of their community. They didn't want them to be a part of their society, right? They just wanted them to work for them, and that was it. So now these blacks are earning money from working. Because all of them weren't rich. They didn't build these businesses and all that. Where were they getting the monies from? You understand? Where were they getting the funds from? They were getting the funds from working. They had day labor. They had jobs, right? So when none of these people wanted them to shop at their businesses, wanted them to attend a lot of their properties and stores and businesses and what have you. So they were forced into a situation where they had to figure it out. So they had meetings and they talked about it. And amongst all of them, they wanted to know who could do what and where. So now with all of their jobs and their earnings, they set out to build their community. And then as they built their community, things started to flourish. And as things flourished, they became bigger and better and the whole bit. I just want to move back. This is one of those moments, man, where, I just gotten a bit flustered because, as I said, the phone was ringing. And I got some interesting news from a friend of mine. But when my partner said yesterday that in order to make, and this is the Black Chamber of Commerce, in order for things to be a success, they brought the consumer and the black businesses together. But that's not what's going to save our economy. You have to understand. See, only the consumers were just middle class people. And it's just like the lady Kathy Hughes talked about with businesses for 14 days. You're going to shop with these businesses the whole bit. So what's going to happen the next 14 days? And you're going to get 2 more businesses. Now your community, now your consumers are going to have to support those businesses as well. It's going to defy the numbers. It's going to defy mathematics. It's going to defy physics. You don't have that many consumers. What are the consumers getting when they're spending in their communities and it's just 2 businesses for 2 weeks? And then after those 2 weeks, nobody's going to come to these stores again. Because now you got them moving on to the next and to the next. So at the end of the year, 2 businesses a week, or for 2 weeks. So that's 26. No, that's not 26. How many is that? Yeah, that's 20. It's 25 and a half. You got people, you got for 25 and a half weeks, you have the consumer spending monies with all these businesses. The consumer now they have to be buying stuff that they really don't need. The only person the only entity that's benefiting in this scenario is the business, is the black business. And just a few black businesses can't sustain an entire black culture and society. Where are the consumers? Okay, we spend $1.7 trillion. So if you're spending $1.7 trillion and it's all going to just black businesses, every last one of those businesses aren't going to give that monies back. They're going to be in so now what you're doing with the lower class people, you're keeping them in a position of need. All you're doing with them is forcing them to stay in poverty. They don't want to get out of poverty. You're not letting them out of poverty. So now our upper class and our middle class, all we're doing is perpetuating the poverty wheel for those that are living below the poverty level. Here's the answer to that. You have to create a way for the lower class to earn. And that's how you sustain a people. That's how you sustain a community. That's how I know I'm kind of all over the place this morning, man. I had it all written down, all figured out, man, but I just got thrown off with that call. But here's what I'm getting at. Black Wall Street survived because in the beginning, all those poor people had jobs. There was an influx of monies being recirculated and regenerated into that community, right? Money has to be coming in. It has to be filtered in. It has to be filtered through all the businesses by sales and purchases. And then the businesses has to put it back. Everybody's just not a consumer and a business owner. That's just not it. And when you have a group of people that can't afford it, needs to be taken care of, that is where your truth lies. You have to create a way because you have far more people who are living below the poverty level than those that are in middle class. And now all the weight is being placed on the middle class, right? And they're trying to be squeezed out altogether. So the answer is not just with the consumers meeting with the black businesses. That's not going to cut it. At some point or another, that river is going to dry up. You have to create more earners. You have to create more earners. And everybody that's homeless, man, they're not there because they want to be there. Understand that. They're not there because they want to be there. Those are the ones that you reach. We just can't assume that all black people, we can't come together. We don't need every last one of us to come together. Those who don't want to come together, then you fall by the wayside. You must find a way to reach those people at our lowest level, because there's far more of them than there are of middle class and business owners. And now what happens is, once you help them earn, you put them in a position that will lift them up. Now you have created your own consumers. This is like planting a seed. That's where you plant the seed. From the beginning. Had these people in Black Wall Street, had these people in Oklahoma, had they not had a job, we wouldn't be having this conversation about Black Wall Street. So they worked and they earned monies in order to filter back into that circle, back into that wheel. We're running out. Kathy Hughes got to be smarter than me. But I don't think she gave that a whole lot. She was just trying to do something. They're going to select 2 businesses in a city or what have you, or in an area, and they want you to shop at these businesses. Now keep in mind, prior to her doing that, maybe these people may only did X amount of dollars in sales. But once she designates this as the business of that 2 weeks, now everyone is just going to go there just to participate, to say that they've been there. Either number one, these businesses don't have enough inventory to service all of its customers. Or number two, they're going to spend all their monies trying to provide. So now all the profit they would earn from those 2 weeks, once that campaign is over, what are they going to do after that? What are they going to do the next 2 weeks when people stop coming? Because see, they can't come to shop at that store every week. This is how businesses sustain, and this is how communities sustain. Just like a barbershop or a hair salon. The same people come the following week. The same people come every Tuesday, every Monday. The same people. So if we have people that's not making money, we don't have enough people to come back every Tuesday or every Monday. How are we going to grow from there? I think that our leaders truly need to sit down and think about this, man. See, I've had a lot of time to sit down. And one thing, again, that prison has taught me, it's a lot like a society, like a failing society or booming society. It's a lot just like it. You see the pitfalls. You see the opportunities. You see what makes a certain institution flourish, and you see what makes a certain institution fail. And let me tell you, this is the truth, right? And there may be some guys listening to this, right? The compound had a main industry, and that industry filtered monies back into that economy, that prison institution, because that's our society. So people worked in Unicor, and people had other jobs where they worked in the kitchen, they worked in facilities and what have you. So everybody had a job, but it was pennies on a dollar, but yet there was an economy there. Now, these people, then you also had people who would be the middle class. The middle class were the people who people would send their monies to their books and what have you. That can be said that they're the upper class, those that, because they probably didn't have to work. But a lot of people had jobs, and their people still were sending them money as well. And a lot of those guys worked and hustled enough to send money outside the prison to take care of their families. So a lot of people sent kids to school, sent them to college and everything else from hustling inside the system. But let me tell you, here we go. So these guys, as long as there was Unicor and everything, guys made enough money to circulate. So while these guys at work, they needed certain things done. They need their clothes ironed or washed. They need their rooms cleaned. Or they had people prepare meals for them. So now you had people that had these different trades or hustles, and now they're getting paid. Because these people that work outside of the unit, they're circulating funds back into our system. So the monies was coming back into the system. So now people that got legitimate hustles, they're doing that. But now you have the extracurricular activity. All right? You had people that ran tickets. Where people gambled. A lot of people gambled. People ran stores. Then there had people that made alcohol. So you had people that bought the alcohol, right? Then you had people that introduced drugs to the institution. That's going to always be there as well. So people that sold drugs, they spent back into the economy. People that sold alcohol, they spent back into the economy. People that ran the numbers, they spent monies back into the economy the whole bit, buying different things. So there was a lot of circulation of funds. And if you had a hustle, if you cooked, washed, sewed, shined shoes, anything like that, you made money. Right? And I watched this every day. And there was a group of people that just wasn't making any money the whole bit. And they were totally out of circulation. But I watched why some units were more successful than others. Because all the ones who were considered the lower class people, they had hustles. And people gave them hustles. If it was no more than a guy, hey, look, I just need you to watch my money. I need you to hold on to it. I need you to hold my knives. So guys had all sorts of hustles like that. And now they were able to buy lunch, buy sandwiches every now and then. Save enough money maybe to buy a new pair of tennis shoes. So like they said, man, just like that commercial back in the day when they said you can learn a lot from a dummy. I watched an economy flourish. I watched an economy crash. When there wasn't any drugs on the compound, money wasn't circulating like you'd think it should. Because you were saying that, man, Unicor was the institution, so that's how the money should be made. Now, a lot of those guys were hooked on drugs. And see, they weren't spending their monies on a lot of other things. They were spending their money on necessities and stuff, right? But the guys, when there was drugs on the compound the whole bit, guys would party, they'd spend more of their money. Guys who sold the drugs, they bought most of the alcohol. Those guys gamble, right? So now they're throwing parties, they're spending money, they're spreading money. Whatever it is you got for sale, they're going to buy it. Your tennis shoes, your watch, your jeans, a shirt, a sweatshirt, you know. And that's the way the economy flourish. You just can't have the same people buying from all the businesses every week, and there's not any more money coming into the situation. We need to create a way for the lower tier people who totals much, much more. I guarantee you they total at least 75% at that poverty level. They probably total at least 75 to 77%. These are the people that you need to reach. These are the people that you need to filter back into society, back into circulation. But you have to give something to them. Those are the ones we need to be talking to and trying to bring them together and uplift us as a people. Because without the foundation, you don't exist. You're just a house built on sand. That's all you are, a house built on sand. This behind me is the blueprint. I promise you not. This is the blueprint. This is what we need as a people to get us going. But you know what? Everybody, look, you either have those who say, nothing's going to work and nothing's going to lift us up as a black people. But you're a black person. So if black people aren't uplifted, then you aren't either. Then you have those that just don't care. They don't want to put forth the effort. Well, move aside. And then you have those that think that where they are, it's going to last forever. Don't you know that this country survives off the poor? It survives. This nation, really, believe it or not, the people who are the poorest. The people who are the poorest in our society. Hold on a second, man. What's going on, brother? Can you hear me? Hello? Frank?
I can't hear, I can barely hear you.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, man. Man, I was trying to call you. I came over there and went to Popeyes just now. Goddamn, running my mouth.
Yeah.
Man, I'm back at the job now. But I was calling you to see how everything worked out, man. You found it?
Yeah, he said he'd forgotten about it. He had said he had just forgot about it. He wanted to tell him where to get it. I told him, don't scare me like that, man. I was a little offended by it, but it wasn't nothing. And he expressed it. That was pretty much it. But I was doing a podcast. That's why I'm talking like this. G.
Oh, well, man, go ahead.
Nah, G called me as well, man. His mother went to the hospital just as I thought, or something. But she's all right. He's gonna hit me back a little bit later. So I can call you back.
Go ahead, man.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you right back. All right. Bye bye. At any rate, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot going on. But as I said, we have to figure it out. Sonetquity is the answer for what it is that we need to do, and it lists what it is we need to do step by step. Step by step, from start to finish. Sonetquity is definitely the answer. Sonetquity is the solution. I just need those guys who are the powers that be to see what it is that we have. And it's not until we uplift all those people who are downtrodden, who feel like they have nothing else to live for, because they are the ones that's going to make a difference for us as a people. They are the ones that's going to turn this corner for us. I tell you, every Monday night, I see people lined up for food when they won't start giving away the food until the following day, that Tuesday. These are the people that we need to put in position to earn. You have to feed the wheel from the bottom. You have to get these people to earning. Look, it's just like, and you know, I see everybody now want to join different businesses that's dealing with marijuana and the whole bit. Hemp. Texas is not trying to have it. Excuse me. Texas is not trying to have it. If it has THC or hemp or whatever in it, they're shutting you down the whole bit, but that's neither here nor there. But here's my point. Think about drugs, for instance. Right? Drug dealers are successful because they have a product that everybody wants. The middle class can afford it. They can just come right up and get it. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to spend. They're going to spend judiciously. But it's the persons that are the lowest in class or whatever the situation is, they hustle every day so they can buy drugs every day. So they can spend, so they can get high every day. And it can be to get out of their miseries or whatever that may be, or they don't want to think about it, or they're just so addicted that they have to have it. Either way it goes, they're the ones that keep the wheel turning and keep society moving, right? If you take away them, the middle class is not going to sustain the dealer or the supplier enough to keep it going. When you look at things in situations that's that raw, see, they don't have all this other bullshit that's convoluting it, the politics and all. Everything is straightforward. That's why from a prison perspective and from a street perspective when it comes to drugs, it's the lower class that keeps the wheel turning. It's the lower class, man. You know? And I know many of you say, man, you're just glamorizing drugs. No, I'm not. It has nothing to do with drugs. It has everything to do with the system. It has everything to do with the wheel and how it turns and what greases the wheel. And like I said again, sometimes you have to look at something you have to look at something that's very, very negative in order to see the positivity and how it works. And I'm telling you, I watched the community in prison, multiple communities, and I watched how some flourished and some failed. I paid attention to what caused those to flourish and what caused the other ones to fail. I see what they say when they say that the inmates control the asylum. And that's true to a degree, because when there's drugs and everything on the compound and gambling, they let it happen because you know what? The system flows. But now, of course, they're going to do their job. If they catch you bad, you know, then you're gonna face the consequences. But they know that when drugs on the compound, the whole 9 yards. Now, you know, robbery enters the fray too. So there's robbery, there's stabbings, there's murders. Well, that's what happens in a society. You know, don't you think for 1 second there was no black on black crime in Tulsa, Oklahoma? You had some robberies and some thefts going on there, black amongst blacks. But what I'm saying, so many people were doing so well, you didn't hear about it. So with the drug industry, it's the bottom rail that keeps that economy going. Because those who work and have jobs the whole bit, they can't buy enough drugs every day to sustain a drug dealer. It's those people that just had the hustle and that just kept grinding the whole bit. So now we need to give those people something that will sustain them. Sonetquity is that answer, y'all. Sonetquity is the answer. You know, it's not the greatest. It's, look, I put it to you like this here. It's not the comparison that you want to hear. But there's no other comparison that's greater. None at all. You know, I can talk about, man, I want to talk about this all week because I know I missed out. I left out some things, man. There's so much that I really, really wanted to say. And it slipped my mind. But I need to have dialogue. So, from time to time, man, you guys have the time. Man, check in with me. DM me. You know, request to come on. And we can talk about it. We can talk about it in depth. All right? But at any rate, man, you guys go out and have a great day. Thanks for coming on board. And enjoy your Throwback Thursday. Peace.